None of this is your fault. Or everything you're talking about, none of it lands on your doorstep.
Well, the responsibility lies with the criminals. I'm quite clear about that.
But what responsibility do you have, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I'm responsible for making sure that the budgets that I have are spent properly, and that's why I'm invested in the police service.
So everybody else is to blame, but not you?
I've been quite clear. I think the criminals are responsible for the rising crime.
But you just told me about why the central government's responsible, why Theresa May hasn't met you, why there isn't enough youth provision, and you haven't told me about what your responsibility is.
Well, I'm responsible for policing in London, but I've got to be honest with Londoners. When we have a situation where there's been massive cuts in policing budget, massive cuts in youth facilities budgets, I'm afraid we can't solve these problems by ourselves. I think we will make a dent in relation to the Violent Crime Task Force. I believe we will make a dent in relation to the investment I've put into youth services and policing, but that's a fraction of the amount we've lost over the last 8 years. My message to your listeners is, if the government proceeds with the further cuts of £300 million in policing, if the government proceeds with the further cuts to council budgets, I'm afraid with the best one in the world, we're not going to be able to solve this problem.
You didn't answer my question. Where have you been the last week? There have been 7 dead in the last 7 days, 12 dead since you last made a public call to end on the violence that we've seen in London through a press release. Where have you been? Where's your visibility in London?
I've been here in London.
But you haven't been out. Have you been to meet any of the bereaved families?
I've spoken to a number of people over the last few days.
Have you spoken to the bereaved families?
No, I haven't spoken to the bereaved families, but I've got a deputy mayor and commissioner. And the Met
But you're the mayor. The buck stops with you, so surely.
That's an easy point. The point is that we're a team. The Met Police and City Hall are a team, and I've got full confidence.
So you haven't met the bereaved families. You haven't made any public appearances on television or on a broadcast. You haven't done any walkabouts. You haven't been to the scene of any of the murders. I mean, Ian Duncan-Smith, and I know he's a Tory, and I know their local elections and things are sensitive, but he's saying you're missing in action. Doesn't he have a point?
Well, I've been in a number of knife sweeps. I've met a number of families. I've been to funerals.
But you haven't met the victim before, but not now. The problem's now, Mr. Mayor.
I mean, look, I'm here talking to you, trying to explain some of the things we're doing. I accept there are elections in 4 or 5 weeks' time, and politicians will have an attack. That's part of politics. But actually, you know, we've got bereaved families. We've got 2 teenagers who've lost their lives just in the last week. So as the father of 2 teenagers, it's personal to many of us who understand these problems. And, you know, I've got full confidence in the Met Police Service, but I'm not going to apologise for making the point, which is the context of the cuts over the last few years. I'm not going to apologise doing that. One of the jobs of the mayor is to be the champion advocate for our city. That means standing up for our city when we're facing massive cuts.
But that's the point, isn't it? One of the points that, you know, main roles of the mayor is to be a leader, is to be seen, is to be out there front and centre when this city is in a really difficult spot and fronting up to the scourge of knife crime and gang violence. And many of our listeners in LBC will be wondering where you've been. I mean, we've been trying to find you for the past 3 days, and now we're on Thursday lunchtime. You could have been out on Wednesday lunchtime. You could have been out on Tuesday lunchtime. Indeed, you could have been out over the bank holiday weekend, but you haven't been.
Well, to be fair, the deputy mayor's done a brilliant job.
But you're the mayor.
And
she's not. The buck doesn't stop with Sophie Linden. It stops with you, Mr. Mayor.
And I'm here
now, Thursday lunchtime.
Well, hold on a sec. I mean, I'm here to talk to you as you'd expect me to do. So what I'm not going to do is do 24 interviews 7 days a week. But I'm always happy to talk.
You could have been out on Wednesday lunchtime.
Oh, that's unfair.
Could have been out on Tuesday.
But the police and the deputy mayor have done a great
7
job.
dead in the last week. It's 12 dead. 12 people, 12 bereaved families. 12 people dead on the streets of London, and you have not made one public appearance.
Well, here I am, and I use a number of ways
to... You're too late.
Oh, come on, you've got to let me finish the answer. I mean, even come on. I mean, you will know that I use a number of different ways of getting my message across to Londoners, the ways that are effective. Sometimes that's LBC, sometimes that's newspapers, sometimes that's social media, sometimes it's other forms of broadcast. I apologise to LBC if I don't get to the front of the queue with LBC.
But you haven't spoken to anybody. I'm not making. I mean, this isn't LBC versus the BBC or ITN or whoever. You haven't spoken to anybody.
Well, when you've
issued some tweets.
Well, when you get a chance, look at some of the output that I've been doing on social media. Look at the conversations I've had with the deputy mayor, with my team. I've been in contact with the commissioner. I think the reality is this: that I'm here talking about some of the challenges our city faces, trying to find solutions, asking again to meet with the Prime Minister. Home Secretary, of course, is somebody that's has a pivotal role to play in this. I'm here, and I've said this is a national problem demanding national solutions. Where are the national politicians?
Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, was called Holding a Politician to Account. An absolutely sterling interview there, I thought, from Theo Usherwood, asking all the questions that I think we would all want answered. Well, were they answered?
We will make America great again.